Welcome everybody back to round two of day two. We are playing Group C. We have Elysium versus Origin. Origin on the killer with Devour playing Wesker. I'm very excited for this matchup. A really well-known teams are really playing right now, and I'm excited for this just matchup. How do you feel about this, Julia?
Well, we're already taking chase onto Zeno, and he has some excellent pathing edge map. Manages to make it to this slightly safer God Rock over here by Shack. Just gonna insta drop that. We did have quite a few Western sets yesterday, and I did not manage to catch all of them. I was not casting, so I'm excited to see a Wesker set for myself that I can actually cast. Gonna be trying a mind game. We'll see if that mind game works. No, not quite. But Zeno is gonna be taking chase towards Shack. Um, and does dodge that bound, I'm pretty sure. Um, Egg not quite managing to get him on hook. It is a little bit of extra bound time, but not quite enough. And a send off at the pallet as well. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, Jexy. Excited to see this matchup. Like you said, these teams are very good, and hopefully we'll see some very high level gameplay. Origin on the killer and Elysium on the survivor.
I really got to say Elysium right now is doing really fantastic. I was going to say avoiding giving the hit, but then gave a hit as I was trying to say what I wanted to. But one thing Elysium's really good about is knowing distance, knowing how to play. Everybody on Elysium plays ones. They're all 1v1 players. They're all really well versed. They play every weekend in top tournaments. So knowing that you're going up against Elysium is just a pretty difficult stat, but as a killer, if you get a really good result, you gotta be feeling really well because you know it wasn't easy. And we already see our first gen pop, probably another one coming up here shortly. We get our first down. Really well done. 2 gens have popped, maybe a third one coming soon, but this is the opportunity to really bring back with Pain Res, No Way Out coming in play.
Yeah, interesting to see No Way Out on the killer side. Oh my god, the scream. But I think that is Scene Partner, and that is going to be a third generator popped for Xeno's chase. Did pop after he went on the hook, so maybe not quite a third gen chase. I'm not sure if you can call it that, but very well played by Xeno, that first chase. And oh, that's going to be a very narrow dodge on Pedro. He didn't even juke, but I think he might be in a bit of a dead zone. If I remember correctly, Xeno dropped this pallet earlier. Um, Pedro might be dead here. It depends on if Devourer manages to land the stash. No, he does. He misses. Unlucky. But we'll see if this is another dead zone or if Pedro is also just going to be dying. Edge map here. He has a Z-wall to work with, and not much else. And that is going to be another down in the corner of the map. So that is 2 hooks on the board. Zeno is not going to be tunneled out. And I think we're just going for fresh stages at this point. Getting those no way out stacks is pretty important, and we have pain res as well to work for. So
Yeah, I was actually really questioning why they were reading so hard for that generator, but then like looking here, that would have been a really tight 3-gen if they didn't get out of the way. And we know, like, fun fact is like Xeno had Chase here the whole time, and that gen to be able to pop that quickly when he just left, like really good gen pressure and efficiency by our survivors here. They're doing a really good job, and our killer looks like he's gonna play for fresh stages and try to get as many hooks and spread the pressure as much as possible. At this point, he needs to get these downs and play for these pain reses to really buy time and bring back the game in his favor.
yeah, we're chasing the third fresh hook here in a tile that has a pallet still. If I remember right, Zeno was here first chase but didn't actually drop this pallet. Or maybe he dropped it and it got enemy minced. I'm not totally sure. I don't remember. But either way, the pallet is up, and we're going to be leaving the chase, surprisingly. I think Devourer just wants to hold this gen spread a little bit. There's not that many gens close together. Like, maybe it could be considered a 3-gen on the side of the map, but not really holdable for a killer like Wesker. But yeah, we're just going to be taking chase on this water, choosing to oh, that was a great hit, by the way. Great hit onto Swatter, and Swatter might be going down soon if he doesn't find anything to chain that to. There is a tile over here, but I'm not totally sure he makes it.
Playtime is over.
That is so unfortunate that he got the hit, but he turned it and unfortunately got thrown into nothingness. At this moment, honestly, with this map, no, I was trying to say, with this map, a big problem with it is you can either have really good RNG, have a lot to use on one side of the map, and then, like I had yesterday for my match, I had 8, like, to the right, all the way to the corner that he was just chasing, had nothing. So this map is very 50-50 if they want to give you resources or not, but if they give you resources, a lot of good resources.
Ooh, very well played by Devour, by the way. I think Zeno was hovering for a pallet save with balanced landing. Balanced landing is one of the only exhaustion breaks allowed in this set, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was on Zeno because he was right above waiting to get the pallet save, and Swatter did die under the pallet. But I think Devour's a little bit paranoid about a second person hovering for the save, but there is nobody here. So that is going to be our third hook, our third fresh hook, actually. Zeno did right. That is the last shin popping too. Very efficient by our Elysium survivors. Despite those 2 hooks, they did manage to get all the gens popped. So we'll see if this is outs. And we hear our Claudette Silhe screaming somewhere. So we know that Silhe is nearby because you have to be close to the killer to get the scene partner off. And Silhe is our last fresh hook. So I don't blame Devour for wanting to take chase onto him right now.
I think it's also really good to go for this fresh hook because they still don't know about No Way Out here, the survivors. So it could turn into a really good situation for our killer here to be able to... Ooh, really good pacing by Silhe. But if he's able... No Way Out is now proc and seen. So the goal here is kind of either play like a basement hook if it's possible. But last fresh here would be really good. Honestly, did really good bringing this game back. It was a very slow start, but doing really well. Window check! Ooh, he almost got away with the window tag. We should see basement here. And if he's able to secure, it could be a 1k7 since this is a fresh hook.
Yeah, I mean, not even a bad result. Getting all 4 fresh hooks and getting that last hook in basement. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to get Silhe out of this basement. That's that window tech. Man, if I saw window tech in Frostfront Trials, that would have been pretty crazy. But no, unfortunately, not coming through. Silhe does get grabbed and put into the basement. And I don't know, Jaxu. Do you think that Silhe is gonna get out of this basement, or are we just gonna die here?
I think it's really risky going for this basement, but at the same time, if they can somehow get this out, it could really change how Elysium survivors have, or Elysium's killer has to play. It looks like they really want to go for it, and it looks like we are going to be trying for it. We do see our first miss, unfortunately. It looks like Zeno's going to be trading, so Zeno's death like get 2 stages out instead of 1. And we should be seeing body blocks coming through by the whole team.
Yeah, Zeno trading because we when Panther in the locker doesn't quite get the head on, but Zeno was gonna trade for that extra 1 stage that would have been saved. But
Oh,
it's close. It's close.
I think he's out.
I have
Oh,
to dodge.
and this is where the team comes in handy.
We're just gonna heal. I mean, I don't even. Okay, that's the men's state going off, but he can't really do anything here, can he? It's a pretty good choice to
No,
heal.
I think he's trying to. I think he's gonna end up trying to take somebody out. Oh, he gets to throw, so there's a high chance he can get that, but he doesn't make it in time. Really well played by our survivors, getting all out, and that is only going to be 5 stages, no kill. I think I'm
Very well
excited.
played.
Honestly, if you are the killer for Elysium Xeno, this gonna be feeling pretty well right now.
Yeah, excellent coordination coming out from Elysium, managing to get those 2 stages saved. That would have been a 7-stage game if they hadn't gone for that basement hook. I'm impressed, honestly, and we'll see Elysium on the killer in the next set. All right, we are back on Shelter with Wesker with Elysium on the killer this time. Zeno playing Mastermind. Looks like we have a Noed and Forced Hesi in our back pocket. Two interesting perks that we didn't see in the last set, which I'm kind of excited to see Forced Hesi value, to be honest. I always love to see those unique perks coming out in sets like this. But we have a 5-stage win con across 4 fresh, and is that going to be a hit already? It is. That is a hit. Thrown edge map on our Tory player. That might be a 2-tap.
Honestly, right there, we just saw value from Medallion. Medallion is a add-on that allows Wesker to dash farther when he has a survivor in his hand, which means a lot more potential to throw edge map because you don't throw as far. So the goal is to dash towards the edge of the map, throw him against the wall, and then get a 2-tap as we just saw. So we're already seeing a lot of value out of his add-ons, and already we find the first, like one of the first gens active already. Really well done by Wesker here.
You know, going to be taking Chase onto Jake now. We're switching Chases very fast, and he's going to be running into this tile that has a pretty good window, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a hit or not. Jake. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that is going to be a hit. And Jake takes the infection, and looks like he knows there's another player here. That's going to be Sable Ward, playing this 50-50 on the pallet, and Zeno does manage to get the hit, and that's that's gonna be a great hit, by the way, a great dash, and another infection coming through. We have 3 infections on the board now. I'm trying something here. I'm not sure what. I think it could have worked, but I think
I
Sable
was-
is going down fast.
That was just one dash, by the
Is
way.
that all you have?
We ended up seeing when Jake brought Chase here, we ended up seeing Sable on the window. So when he hit Jake, he knew that Sable was here and he'd get a free down end zone here. We already have 2 hooks on the board with no gens done. This is something happening with the tree. But this is a really good start. All he needs to do is camp. If he wanted to, he could camp this to death and have time to just go for another chase. But I think he is going to play for the 4K here.
I think he just wants that pressure. He wants to get all these. I mean, Jake is injured and a little bit slowed from the infection as well. So, I mean, ooh, this is a tricky mind game, and he actually manages to get a wonderful dash. Very well played by Zeno, and that's going to be a hook. He's not choosing to take basement, I'm assuming, because of a pain risk hook over here. And that's going to be a 3rd hook. We have 2 infections and a lot of slowdown. Yeah, that was a pain res. I'm not sure, Drexy, do you remember which of the 3 survivors hooked so far was not a pain res?
The only pain, Tari was not a pain res. Tari didn't get pain res. He was too early and maybe wasn't close to one, but he ended up pain resing Sable and Jake already. Ooh, and we do see Alan, so we're going for the 4 fresh already. And we should be seeing a really good dodge by Alan playing the 50-50. I feel like that area right there is pretty hard because if you vault at the wrong time or too slow, that will be a tag on you.
Yeah, Alan playing this very well. It's gonna, doesn't quite take a hit, but it looks like he does get thrown, doesn't quite get injured though. That's unlucky for Zeno. But Boo is going to be taking a hit and dropping this pallet. He might be a bit zoned here. And we saw from our last matchup with Elysium on the Survivor that there aren't too many pallets in this area once that filler is gone. And that's going to be Alan, our last fresh hook, going on the hook as well. And this is a pain res, as we learned from our previous hook on Jake. So that's going to be our 3rd pain res hook and our 4th fresh. We just need 2 more hook stages to get that win.
And playing as a survivor right now, you got to be really tense. You need that gen pressure. You need these chases to last longer. But unfortunately, chases here at 1, as we've learned, haven't been sorry, that distracted me. Haven't been like the best area to take chases. It looks like Zeno understands this tile really well, and it's really problematic for our survivors. We should be seeing a tag on Jake already. Trying to throw him edge mode.
Yeah.
But if Jake dies here, this could be just end of the game. 4 generators left. All pain resists besides Hurricane have been used. And it looks like Xeno's kind of playing to play for some fancy here. He kind of feels really comfortable. And we know that because 4 gens are still up and he needs potentially just one more survivor.
Yeah, Jake doing a little bit of a taunting. They come here, come chase me motion, but does eventually go down on this 50-50 pallet. And Zeno is finally going to break this pallet. It cost him a little bit of trouble this game, though he did manage to get quite a few good hits on the pallet so far. But yeah, Jake going on the hook. That is the tie condition, I believe. And another generator popping in the distance. So I mean, we're not looking too bad on the survivor end, but as far as the win condition, it's not looking great.
I think at this moment, survivors are just trying to play for best results, trying to get out. And we see a little nod that he understands somebody's rotating for pull. The big thing right now is if Survivors is playing for best result, right? Trying to get out, just play for a good game. He still has Noah in the back pocket to really make something work if it somehow gets to end game here.
Yep, Noed and Forced Hesitation, which we haven't seen any value from yet. Forced Hesitation is a perk that you really have to play into and doesn't always see value, and that's going to be Alan taking full infection and a hit. I believe he was already infected when that dash came through. He is going to be going down, and yeah, and that's going to be the win for Elysium. Very well played. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Xeno manages to get more stages out of this match, but that is at least the win condition. And we have a few generators in a 3-gen, but not even near the hook, kind of across the map. And we see the infection coming up on Jake, so we have some info on where he is as well. See some scratch marks at main. We have some pretty good info on these survivors, and another chase gonna be taking a check.
So are we chasing? We are chasing Jake again, Mr. Taunter, and hopefully we get a fun little chase. It looks like Xeno trying to cook up something funny. Oh, and he almost got away with it. Oh, we saw a hug tech attempt there, and Jay kind of vaulted into it, but as Xeno was going past.
A little bit of a standoff at this pallet, but Jake is a little bit zoned here. Excellent pathing though by him, managing to get away from that dead zone for a second, but he is likely going to take a hit unless we find a pallet here right now. But unfortunately it did not spawn in these rocks over here. And the first chase of the game going to main building. I think this is the first time I've seen any of the chases go anywhere near main, surprisingly. And Jake is going to be taking chase on this main pallet.
Really well done by our survivors. They're getting all generators done. What are we seeing? What the? Xeno's flying. It kind of, yeah. Xeno knew he didn't have a too stressful win con, and I think right now it's all about having a high morale is what he's doing for his next game. So he's just having a good time and really putting in I think his next.
Yeah, he's kind of been trying some stuff this game, hasn't he? He's been messing around with his dashes. It looks like he does still have Noed, but still chooses to go for that dash. But that's going to be Tori thrown against the hill. And Tori is only on first stage, so hooking her would be probably better than hooking Jake even. And despite having Noed, he's not even choosing to go for the M1s. He's kind of just... Oh, well, I'm assuming now he's going to go for the M1. Does miss it onto Alan, but Alan does go down.
No, oh, poor Hedgie!
There's
Oh,
the
no!
first value.
They didn't know about it all game, and apparently got value. Let's go! Really good stun by Jake here.
Very good stun by Jake, and Sable is trying to get the pickup. I think he just wants Jake, though. I'm surprised he's not using his M1 very much. He's choosing to use his dash. I think he's just messing around a little bit though. He's not playing too serious. But Sable is potentially going to be thrown in map.
Oh my
She does
goodness.
hit the tree. That's going to be an injury. And meanwhile, all 4 survivors are injured. So no, it doesn't even matter that much anymore. Sable is going to be going down and going on the hook, and that is yet another stage on the board. I think they're just going to be taking outs here.
Yes, I would assume they just take out. The game's over. They had a good time, it looked like. For everybody watching, we will be right back with Elysium killing on Nurse against Jinx. It should be a pretty decently quick setup time, so see y'all in a little bit.